It's a big story we're following this Saturday evening. Gauteng Police Commissioner tonight, Mawela, is in Finetown in Johannesburg. It's all part of Operation Molao. We know this happens on an ongoing basis, but tonight there's a special focus. They are continuing to search for the perpetrators of last weekend's terrible shooting. 11 people were shot, 6 of them fatally in Finetown. My colleague Moloko Moloto there for us following the operation, and earlier hearing from Mawela. Moloko, hello again to you. I know it's very loud where you are. I believe you're going to have the police minister, Bekele, with you in a moment. If he's there, let's begin with him. If not, remind viewers what Mawela had to say to you.
Yeah, what is he saying?
Hello, Gareth. Yes, indeed. Just a short while ago, we spoke to the Provincial Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Mawela. This was just 10 minutes into this particular operation, and at that time he told us that they had already arrested 8 persons who do not have documentation to be in the country, but they had also within 10 minutes arrested about 8 motorists who were driving under the influence of alcohol. And we have seen the operation continue, stopping all the vehicles, the minibus taxis carrying people presumably coming from work, really carrying on with the body searches, and they are really not sparing anyone, both the females and males. I have seen them handcuffed, people who were arrested for drunk driving and all sorts of crimes. But let us speak to the local chairperson of the policing forum here. Thank you so much. Maybe just give us an idea about the local challenges here. I understand that gun crime is a major problem in your area, but what are the fundamental issues that you believe ought to be attended to in order to address this problem here?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we really need to start looking at is the involvement of our community, because as a community policing forum, we can only do so much. Yeah. We are heavily dependent on our community in order to give us the information so that we can filter the information through to our local precinct, the Enodale SEPs, and then we obviously will be able to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, just last week we saw 11 people were shot, 7 of them unfortunately died. Just how regular do these killings happen in your area?
Yeah. The extent of the killings obviously has not happened as what we've seen last week. However, we have seen an increase in crimes perpetrated by using guns. And I do believe that, as I indicated, it takes a community in order to start getting involved with it. And obviously, once we have good intelligence, we can then get SEPs to get involved in order to deal with either unlicensed guns or guns that are in possession where it should not be in possession of individuals.
All right, thank you so much. Maybe let's now speak to the MEC for Community Safety, Mayor Faith Mazibuko. Ma'am, I am aware that one of the priorities that the new Premier, Banyazali Sufi, has made is to fight crime. And in fact, he said this actually is going to make us unpopular. And he also said, I think I was there in El Dorado Park, that the province is going to increase the budget of your department from about 500 million rand, if I remember well, to 8 billion rand. Of course, he didn't mention the time frames, but he said he's going to buy 5 helicopters for each district in Gauteng and 1,800 high-tech drones. I have seen one. I'm not too sure if it's one of those. It was just going up here. Let's talk to the timelines. I'm sure a lot of people in Gauteng will really applaud such bold commitments. But so far, it's just a promise.
It's not just a promise. It is what is going to be implemented. Already we're starting to recruit the 6,000 fit and agile and proper young men and women who will be deployed at what level, which will be what we call your wardens, others will be peace officers, others are going for training to be trained in drones so that then they're able to fly these drones within their areas where they are deployed. And we are already purchasing a high-powered vehicle. Each and every ward here in Gauteng is going to have a response vehicle. So each and every household is also going to have an e-panic. So when you press your e-panic, and call help, those cars are going to respond quickly to come to you and be able to assist you in whichever need that you'll be having, whether you're under attack or you need assistance, whether you're being abused by your boyfriend or your concubine or your husband. But over and above, ensuring that our communities in Gauteng are safer. Some people go to work very early in the morning, so those drones and the personnel will also be there in making sure that they are going to work very safely. Others are coming back very late at night, going home. Same, that will actually happen, including school safety. Our children are also not safe in schools. They are sold drugs, there's bullying, there's gangsterism, there's fighting. So all these teams are actually going to be assisting in fighting that.
But MEC, 8 billion rand is not some small change. Where is this money going to come from?
That money is going to come from the equitable share and the provincial kitty. Of course, it may not be all of it at the start. It's over MTEF. Because as we have started with the first process now of starting to train and purchasing cars, it means in the new financial year, we purchase other things. In the other financial year, you purchase other things. So that's how government budgets. It budgets over MTEF, over 3 years. So some of the things are actually going to be rolled out over 3 years.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Gareth, I think maybe let's go towards this particular minibus taxi so that we can be joined by the Minister of Police, General Begitele. He is also personally doing this particular operations. Ndosi, Sawubona. Are you also personally doing this particular searches?
No, I'm overseeing the searches, but also speak to the committee members, ask them how they feel. Are they at war with us because we're doing this? Fortunately, most of them, they say they are not irritated, they like this, and they wish that it could be frequent.
Yeah, I know you've just arrived, Minister. I'm not too sure if they've briefed you about the number of arrests so far and the types of items that they could have confiscated from the people they've arrested here.
Well, except I've seen those that are drunk, so I visited them. As you can see, that mobile is full. There are people in the cells there.
How many approximately?
Well, I saw 2 in the cell and 2 that they were still taking statement. But overall, there are more than 10 people that have been arrested, drinking and driving. Even young ladies here. But there are quite a number of undocumented people. Clearly, there is no roadblock. It doesn't matter where you go without undocumented people, which does give the problem when you need to pursue people that have committed crime. As you know, what has happened here a few days ago, and we were called by the community here to be visible. We're trying to respond to that call of the community.
Minister, gun crime is really a major headache in our country. In this area, as you just alluded, there were 11 people who were shot at, and the people here are saying, look, it's a regular occurrence. Unfortunately, 7 of those have died. But nationally, from your department, I know at some point there was some messy where you called people to bring in their firearms. I'm not too sure if that particular program yielded any positive results, but what strategy is there to disarm the criminals in this country?
It's a combination of 2 of making that call. Remember, even the legal firearm one day becomes illegal. Most of the illegal firearms you see here, they came out of shop legal, except those that are not produced, are not sold in South Africa, like AK-47 and others. But most, either they are stolen from our law enforcement agencies, but big number they are stolen from individual owners in South Africa. So if you move them, either legal or illegal, you reduce the pool of guns. But the police then, because criminals, it's true, it's very hard that they bring those guns back, because those guns for them are tools of trade. They use them to kill the people, to rob the people. But almost every 3 to 4 months, we destroy more than 40,000 firearms nationally. Those firearms would have been confiscated by the police, by the law enforcement. We do have these operations where we knock on the doors, where we move around roadblocks like this, and we do find these illegal firearms.
If these illegal firearms, Minister, started as legal firearms, I'm sure you are aware that organizations such as Gun Free South Africa would say remove guns altogether, even from the police. Would you support that?
You know, the firearm law at the present moment is under review in South Africa. So we have worked on that. Somebody suggested that we make it very hard for individuals to own private firearms. There are countries like that. Your Japan will be that. Some countries in the Scandinavians will be like that. We were almost killed by South Africans. Thousands and thousands of feedback from citizens. They said, no, those firearms should be there because they protect themselves. We can't take their rights of protection. Indeed, it's a natural thing. It's a natural response to protect yourself. But let me tell you one thing. Most of the time, those people that have firearms legally, they never, or most of the time, don't get an opportunity of using them. They end up, those firearms, illegal when they are shot and they are taken. Most of the house breakings, most of the house robbery, the most wanted things, most lucrative thing they want out of that are guns. So if you can remove guns and people begin to know that you don't have guns, one, we won't have the legal market to convert to illegal, but people won't be chasing people in their houses because there will be no guns to chase.
Yeah, and I suppose that is happening because there's so much lawlessness in this country and people feel that they are not being protected by the police. But here's the question that I want to get your views on. The statement that was sent to us was saying that part of this particular operation partly is to stem the authority of the state. Is this an admission that really the state has lost its grip, particularly when it comes to crime fighting, so much that the criminals know that they can get away with it?
Well, I don't know which criminals they know that they can get away with it. Time and again, I repeat this thing. Twice now in this term alone, that Minister of Justice or Correctional Service has requested President to grant parole, firstly, to 14,000 people that were in correctional service. Secondly, 19,000 during the COVID. As we speak now, we've got 33.3% overpopulated prisons in South Africa. Among those people, not a single one who goes to prison on toi-toi, who wakes up in the morning and requests to be arrested. They are sent by the police, taken by the police to court, and court send them to long sentences. Indeed, what we can't do is to convert South Africa to prison. So we convert South Africa to prison. So there are few things. There are few things that we'll have to do. We'll have to be across the board. We have to make sure that other departments, all of us, we do our work. We have to make sure that social development, people are at school, people have houses, people have jobs, so that we stabilize the situation that can create conducive situation for crime. But to say that police are not doing the work when prisons are overpopulated, when prisons are overflowing, when prisons are more than 7,000 people that are doing life.
But part of your duty, Minister, is to prevent this crime from happening in the first place, isn't it?
No, it's both. It's both. You check your constitution. It said we prevent. But that prevention cannot be the police alone. It's exactly what you are saying. For instance, last week or a week, we were at a deep slot. We were at the place called Extension 1. Extension 1, I was working with MEC Mazibugo, National. You can't see a person as you walk with, you have to touch that person. So, which means conditions should be improved. Environmental design should be better. People must put light there, must put street, must put houses and all. Those better conditions will prevent crime, will reduce crime. So it can't be the police alone. It's across the government. Indeed, we are having activities that prevent. This is one of them. And remember that since we came here and after that unfortunate situation happened where we have been operating here, it's only today that you are here, you know that. But since then, we have put extra forces. We'll be here. We're coming back as we are called. We'll be giving them the extra resources as they requested. So we do those things. Sometimes we do those things in many places where people have not died and they're not known. There are many activities that we do without the glare of the media, and people will think that we're not doing that. I've just arrived now. I'm coming from KZN. We were having other operations and all that without the glare of the media. So it's not that we wait for media to come and then we do things. There's a lot of things that are happening.
Final question, Ndosi. Any update with regard to the 21 bodies of suspected illegal miners in Kruger's store?
Well, what has been discovered since is that those people have no physical injury. So that's why we need to find out what killed them. So there is this theory that they were killed by water and all that kind of thing. But it's true that we'll need to find out what happened, find the people that threw those bodies there in that area, because it doesn't matter who you are. Whether we're Zamazama, whether we are legal, whether we're illegal, we are a human being. You cannot be killed. You can't enjoy the death of those people. So we need to protect them. If they need to face consequences, they should be arrested, follow the proper pattern, and nobody should be able to kill them. Indeed, we are investigating with a hope that we'll find out what really happened.
Thank you so much, Minister Bekitele. We appreciate your time. I suppose the operation continues, Gareth. And earlier, I actually saw a vehicle. It was a minibus taxi carrying people. It was stopped and the driver disembarked. And I suppose he had already pulled the handbrake. But that vehicle with people inside, Gareth, surprisingly continued to roll despite the fact that the engine had been switched off. So that kind of like gives you an idea that the possibility is that the braking system itself is not functioning properly. And I presume that such vehicles would actually be taken off the road. So the operation continues. As you can see, General Mawela stopping some of the vehicles.